Brent, you got to kick us off because I'm going to sneeze.
Oh, God bless you ahead of time. But hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to sneezing, and welcome to allergies in Arizona with Mike and Brent. And
it's
are you getting that flu that's going around?
No.
Oh,
I don't have time to get sick. I don't have time to get sick. So
I ain't got time to bleed.
When people say that stuff, when people say stuff like that, I'm just like, nope, I'm not getting it.
Nah, not happening. Not happening.
And okay, so you just did a call back to a quote from one of my favorite movies. And nobody's on the live stream just yet, but when you watch this, make sure you throw a comment in and give another quote from that same movie.
Right. And here's the other thing. How from now on, this is what we have people do. Count how many movie quotes get thrown out in any episode. And we'll keep a counter going too and see if anybody catches it. And also, I have a surprise for you. I also hooked up my Facebook account. So we're streaming to Facebook too. Hi, Facebook.
Hey, Facebook. Look at that. There we go.
So it's going. And I also changed the title. I don't know if that changed it for you. I just did a little experimenting this morning because since the stream didn't go live or didn't push out yesterday, I thought I'd go in and edit some stuff. And so I don't know if I edit it just for me, if it's going out my way. I added a description, and I think we should start using the logo, the Fresh Air moniker.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's good. So, it did not edit on my side from what I can tell. So
cool. That's
also really cool. And like we've said, we're gonna keep testing. So figured out what the error was yesterday. It was an error on my end, and I saw it. I don't know how it happened, but I saw it happen. I saw it again today, and then clicked the slider before changing out of the window. But the LinkedIn live slider wasn't on by default, and I don't know why that happened, but anyway, now I'll just be from a checklist perspective. Now I've got that added to my checklist. Check, mic check, check. Make sure are we live in different areas? Because we actually were live on YouTube.
Okay.
And the cool thing about us being live on YouTube is that people were able to go in, and we were able to link back to it. Right. So even though you didn't get the live version of us, you saw us in your time in real time. And that turns into if it's your time and my time, isn't it our time?
Two. Who's counting, everyone? Who's counting? So my checklist item would be to actually log in to Restream instead of just letting it launch from the link. And then once I'm logged in, then I click that little slider for LinkedIn, click the little slider for Facebook. I also apparently have a Twitch account. I've never been a Twitch streamer, but apparently I was going to be at some point and opened up an account. So anyways,
I say we stream on Twitch too. Let's stream on all the streams. We could stream from what I can tell with the way we've got the way that the account's set up, we can stream to 8 different streams.
Yeah, it's nice. So it's really cool. Well, this is great. Well, okay, so let's start off our regular. Oh, hey, do we pick up from yesterday, or did you have something you want to talk about? Because we said that at the end of yesterday, we said, hey, we'll pick that up tomorrow. So tomorrow's today. So we could either jump into the Gemini, hey, what's the news today? Or we could pick up from yesterday.
I don't remember what our pickup from yesterday was.
All right, then I'll do it because I'm totally psyched about this. Listen, we talked about those images yesterday that we created, and you had never heard of this book before, and I haven't pulled it out in a while. And so it was an outstanding, I got to even brush the dust off it. It was an outstanding opportunity for me to pull it out again because it is really it is a fantastic book. I cannot speak highly enough about it. When people ask me about L&D and they're like, what's the best book in L&D that you can learn about instructional design and how to build training and learning content and stuff? I very rarely, and I'm so sorry to all of my colleagues that have written books, I very rarely pull out ones from the industry. And there are tons of good ones, Then there are top 10 lists and top 20 lists out the wazoo on LinkedIn and all over the place. If you need those types of books, there are places to go find them. I like to live on the edge and gather knowledge from all of the edge industries or practices or areas of expertise that impact and do what we do. So, in the spirit of yesterday's conversation around the image that I created, using a super simple prompt that actually I didn't create it. I felt very embarrassed when people are like, "Wow, that's a great image. How did you do that?" And everything. I was like, "Oh, I didn't do it. I just told AI to do it." Um, but I wish I'd drawn it. And that's why I was invoking the name of Kevin Thorne, because he actually could and would draw something like that by hand with a piece of paper and a pencil, and it would be awesome. But AI did it for me, and it was great. So yes, and apparently Craig was very psyched about it too. So Craig, have you ever heard of this book before? And we'll wait the 2 minutes that it takes for your post to get into our link. No, we won't wait. Well, we'll wait and we'll watch for it. But anyway, so here it is. So, okay. So this guy, this is Scott McCloud. By the way, I don't know if I've shown the whole thing. So super cool, super nice guy. Used to have a blog that accompanied this and whatnot. And the fun thing about this book,
Ooh, very nice.
it's written like a comic book.
That's cool.
And he basically takes a scientific or an academic approach to breaking down comic books, how they're structured, like what you were talking about, that, what goes on in the gutters, how big do you make a panel, how do you deal with time, stretching time, everything that we kind of alluded to yesterday. So it's called Understanding Comics, The Invisible Art by Scott McCloud. I cannot emphasize the amazing nature of it enough. You will get so much out of this book. And for all of my literal thinkers out there that are thinking to themselves, but in my company, we're a compliance driven, hardcore bank, and they don't allow us to create comic books. Let me just clarify. It's not about creating comics. It's so much more. That's how do you use the different elements of comics in the work that you do. Let's say you're doing a super boring slide presentation. A slide presentation is nothing more than a bunch of comic book panels, except you're putting goofy 8-point font that nobody even in the front of the room can read on it, thinking that everybody can read it. So you'll get a ton of visual art stuff. But if you are fully interested in actually making comics, you can get his follow-up book, Making Comics. And you can actually figure out how to make your own comics, how to draw them, how it all works and whatnot. But sort of the science and the theory that works for us in learning and development, anybody that creates content, even if you're just like a YouTuber or any sort of content creator, if you give presentations, if you communicate with other human beings, understanding how images it can be used more effectively than how you're currently using them. This is a great book. Sorry, just had to go through all of that.
And what I just pulled up is it looks like there's an updated cover to it. And I've kind of bounced around a little bit. That's what I was looking at over here to the left while we were talking, Brent, is the updated cover to it, because the cover that's available now on Amazon, at least what's showing, is not the same as the one that you have. So
it's probably a second, third, or fourth edition, because I bought this a long time ago.
Yeah, this originally went out in 94 93 or 94, and there's a hardcover version that you can get if you're one
Oh,
of those kind of
really?
collector types. That hardcover version is 185 bucks. The paperback version is $16 on Amazon. And in the beauty of Amazon, Amazon's going to actually deliver this today. So it's going
I
to
would
deliver today.
say I would say get it for your favorite L&D professional as something that nobody else would think to get for them. I guarantee you they will get something out of it, even if it's just there's this great image, and I used to have a bookmark in it, but I've dog-eared the important pages that I wanted to remember, but there is one in particular that I'll just flash real quickly, and then I'll get off this. Okay, there's this image right here. It basically covers the different the picture plane, the difference and the spectrum of an image that's realistic, like reality, like painting reality,
Yeah.
showing reality. A photograph is art of reality. And then there's the way on the other end of the spectrum is just meaning. When you look at a shape, can you define meaning, right? Here's the meaning, like that's a face, it's a circle with two dots and a line. We all kind of look at that and go, oh, yeah, that's a face. That means something to us humans. All the way over on the other end of the spectrum is like a very realistically drawn image of a face, right?
Yes.
So, and then there's everything in between. And so how much there's a part in there's like how much can you take away from an image and still have it maintain meaning? That to me is the most incredible thing. And you'll hear art directors talk about it, and advertising executives, art directors in advertising companies, logo creators. It's like how many different bits can you take out of an image for it to still mean something? And then that's if you got it stripped down to as far as you can go before it no longer means what you want it to mean, then that's pretty much what you should end up with.
It highlights that, and I mean, this is one of the quotes that I put out there, often, and it's a derivative of a Einstein quote, but it's as simple as possible, complex as necessary.
Oh
So
yeah.
you're like, yeah, and the Einstein one is as simple as possible, but no simpler. And the it is when you're looking to convey pieces of information, there's probably a reason why a stop sign doesn't have a lot of extra words on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of it's there. We know what the red octagon means. I think
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Craig's right. Right. There's a whole art movement built on minimalism. There was a whole art movement built on realistic imagery. Yeah, all of that stuff. And movies, nothing more than a bunch of image frames strung together. Yep.
But keep going out there and making it as complex as you can make it, so you just confuse the hell out of everybody, and then
Yeah.
you just drive people nuts.
And
Go
that.
ahead,
Yeah. Right.
and then demonstrate to me how instructionally sound it might be. Like,
Well,
it
that was
is.
yesterday's point, right? It's like because the prompt was make something wacky and extremely overcomplicated,
Yeah.
right, in the image. And so today's post, I won't go into it too deeply today, but what I decided to do after yesterday's, excitement around that image, um, we created like 4 or 5 more. You did one on sales and the sales journey or the buyer journey.
Journey. And then the
Um,
other one I want to do is on customer decision making process. That's on my list
oh,
to
okay.
get into, just because there's so many people will confuse both of them, or
Yep.
they'll be talking about one and be describing the other, which
Yep.
is, and I know, inconceivable. Actually, now 4. So there you go. We're on a roll. We won't keep
On a
timing
roll.
this because 15 minutes in, we have actually got 4 different movie shout outs.
References.
And if you want to add my shirt, there's a fifth, which is a preview to today's Mary and Bright video.
Ah,
But I think like this whole thing about like uh, what Craig shared a little bit earlier, which is just kind of a callback to before. Movies are nothing more than a bunch of image frames strung together. Did you ever, when you were drawing, did you ever draw one of those kind of animated scenes where you put a couple of stick figures on different pieces
and
of
you do
post-it
the,
notes?
you do the thumb thing. You go
And you just
through
right,
the
yeah.
pages. Oh yeah.
And it's so cool to see that you can create motion out of something that you just put pen to
Oh
paper
yeah,
on or
we
pencil
used
to
to do it
paper on.
on the edges of our textbooks in school. If you'd find the place that had the most white space, and you'd thumb through all the edges and everything first until you found the spot that had the most, and that's when you'd start doing it.
And think about so if I did that and Brent did that, many of you probably did that, and the people that you work with probably did that. So let's gain an appreciation for the simple stuff, like the basic stuff, the entertaining stuff that shows that little bit of motion that kind of moves things along. I mean, I remember one of the what's the stop frame, stop motion. What is it called? And Craig probably will drop this in as we're talking through it. But Mr. Bill and Gumby,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
and there's so much fun that you can in different ways that you can present or convey an idea. I just picked up all three books in the McLeod series, which are well, go to Amazon and you check them out.
Understanding comics, making comics, and I didn't even realize he had a third. What's the
There's
third?
the third one is it's what's it revisiting reinventing comics, the evolution
Ah,
of an art form.
okay, cool.
Now,
I wonder
and
if that's the one that his daughter did. Is there a co-author with it? I
it says
vague
Scott McCloud.
It's just McLeod. Okay.
That's what
I
it says.
vaguely remember when he was really popular, just releasing his first book. I vaguely remember seeing something on a blog post or something, him talking about his daughter getting into it and doing comics and whatnot. So, anyways, sorry, tangent.
Awesome. Well, folks, good. It gave us time for Craig to catch
Or
up on the
no,
Craig's quote to catch up, which
stop motion animation. Yeah, there you go.
as we said on one of these before, as I once said to a judge, time is relative. There you go. All right, what do we? Yesterday's conversation was pretty cool. It struck a chord, and there we go. There we go. Another stop motion animation one.
Oh
What
yes.
are we? What do we want to? Now that we're warmed up and 18 minutes into this, um, where do I want to go next?
Yeah. Well, let's just whenever we need to ask,
Yeah.
what we do is we go to the oracle of all things, Gemini, and we ask her, him, it, or they, what is the what's going on? What's
What's
going
in the
on?
news today?
And in the news today. So, oh yeah, here I got to share first so everybody else can see. I already actually posted the prompt to speed things up a little bit for folks that are just not used to just hanging with guys that just talk about random stuff. Let's zoom this bad boy in a little bit, get the full screen going on.
The other thing, just as this is while this comes up, and I see it's up there, but the piece around the gutters, and this is not like a lot of us in school were told, like get your head out of the gutter, get your mind out of the gutter. What I'm going to challenge you to do is actually get into the gutter, create space for the gutter, because the gutter is that pause.
Yeah, it's the comma. We were talking about the commas the other day. It's like that gutter is the comma or the semicolon or the colon between the pictures.
A pause that Brent couldn't deal with when I paused there, and he jumped in and had to add the comment after.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I ruined the moment. Sorry.
No, you didn't ruin the moment. It just creates a you create space for communication. You create space for thinking. You create space for learning. You create space, and the magic can happen in the margins, whether it's stop motion animation with pencil characters or the gutter space that you create for people to kind of work through stuff. So, Brent, over to the news.
The news. And yes, I think we'll need to also help clarify for folks that by specifically what gutter you're asking people to get into, because I believe in our sensitive culture, people might think you're referring to a different gutter. So just for a point of clarity and reference.
The gutter between the frames or slides that you see when reading a comic book, the space between each of those,
And
that is
for
the gutter that
I think
we're
to
referring to.
relate to the corporate set, it's that moment when you're at the end of your thought and you're clicking the presentation slide clicker to advance and you have dead air because you don't know what to say when the slide is advancing because you haven't practiced enough to know that you can actually talk and click the button at the same time and have a very nice smooth segue for your audience, as opposed to stopping your thought, clicking the button, saying, hey, is this thing on? And then seeing the next slide. Is that the one I want? Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay. And then jumping into the content on the next slide.
All right,
So
since this is our show, I'm going to brag about myself here for just a little bit. So the the one of the greatest pieces of feedback that I got from someone at that one of the people who was in the room during the keynote at Mopsapalooza at the end of October was they were shocked at how well timed I was relative to the slides. They didn't, and because they didn't see me clicking the slides as we moved things forward.
nicely
And
done.
you're not creating your if you're doing some extra motion and that kind of stuff, you're taking away, you're drawing attention away from the main thing that you're trying to convey. So the other thing that they did for me was they put gaffer's tape on the on the button that I wasn't supposed to press, so that I made sure that I pressed the right button. So proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance again. Uh,
For the win, baby, for the win. All right, so to the news. Today's L&D news brought to you by the Oracle of Knowledge, Gemini. And so here we go. Today's featured articles and case studies. We have one from Panda Restaurant Group's Leadership MVP win. Training Magazine highlighted a major case study today regarding the Panda Restaurant Group. Y'all can Google that and read about it if you want. And if we choose to talk about it, we will. Localization strategies for global teams. A new feature released today outlines 8 e-learning localization strategies to maximize engagement. Holy smokes, 8 different ones. Wow, that's incredible. You should all go and read that. I can't imagine somebody probably didn't pay for that article that might actually have a business that helps you with your localization strategies.
Hold on, does stuff like that happen, Brent?
I don't know, but I've heard that that is a common practice amongst many industries.
News can be sponsored.
News can be sponsored. Yes. We call that native advertising, Mike.
Oh, thank you.
It's it is a thing. So every time there is you're watching your local news and all of a sudden there's a story, a fantastic story about a dog that was lost but found at the local bakery. And oh, by the way, you should come in because they're such good people and you should buy a muffin. They probably bought that particular ad and just made it sound like a good thing.
Don't ruin it for me, Brent.
Sorry. I know I'm a buzzkill.
Absolute buzzkill.
You're never going to watch local news the same again.
I can't remember the last time I watched local news.
I know.
Oh.
I tried to during the holidays. I was just flicking around the channels and I landed on one waiting for football to start or something. And yeah, and I just couldn't do it. It was too much. But anyways, okay. Section 2, industry reports. Got recent data releases from major industry bodies, including Training Industry and McKinsey. driving conversations today. So, U.S. training spend increases. So, the 2025 Training Industry Report reveals that U.S. training expenditures have jumped 4.9% to $102.8 billion. Does that actually reflect the current state of things, though?
Click on that link and let's just see if that opens up a second tab for you, the source material. And maybe this will be, yeah, okay, cool.
I'm not sure. Yeah, here's the industry
Yeah.
report in its 44th year. So there's more stuff.
Yeah.
These are all the different respondents. The data represents a cross section of industries. Oh wait, you're not seeing it.
No, I'm seeing in the source data in the margin as is that a separate window or is that a
Yeah, no, it opened up as a separate tab. I'll shut down my sharing and reshare the correct thing. I need to get better at this. I need to hook up my Stream Deck and be able to just push buttons.
Yeah, even in the in Gemini though, it showed like a preview of some of the information, which is kind of cool. And I think that's another one to kind of draw attention to for folks as you're looking at the information. Many of these tools, Gemini here that we're looking at, will show
You're
links
referencing AI
to the
tools for
source.
those who
Yeah,
are
we'll show links to the source material, and then you can go in a little bit deeper and say, oh, okay, well, where did this source material come from? Did it come from some sponsor who just happens to be um, selling a solution into the marketplace, or did it come from some other source? But you can start to go down a bit of a rabbit hole. The thing the thing that I like to have in place are bump stops to help keep me from going too deep into the rabbit hole. So what I'll do is I'll allow Brent, thanks for laughing. I will allow myself to go.
I just go down those rabbit holes all the time willingly, and I wish I had a bump stop.
Well, you do every time we talk about it. So anyhow, sometimes you just need to add a sticky note to your monitor and be like, "What would Mike say?" Or "What's my 5-minute bump stop?" Or "My timer starts now." Whatever the thing is that works for you. Even keeping one of those little Pomodoro type timers or kitchen timers up on your desk will help. And just say, "Okay, for this branch of discovery, I'm going to give myself another 5 minutes to go a little bit deeper into it and then get back to the main thing and just have that bell go off and remind you to go back." Having those systems in place can help keep you focused. So what I really like about this is I remember, back in the day when you had to cite all of your work. Remember that when you do your,
Yep.
we had to do this thing.
Yeah.
All right, kids, way back when we used to have to, we went to this place called school, and in school we would go and we would do research papers or position papers. And
here's what we have to do every time you do that. We have to do the
we're up to 6. So if you count the t-shirt, we're up to 6. As you go through this, you can go a little bit deeper into the information, and then that becomes helpful because what it might end up doing for you is creating another question in your mind that you didn't think about relative to that specific piece of content or that specific piece of information, which allows you to go down potentially another branch. Use the timing to keep yourself from getting too distracted or allowing scope creep to get in the way. That was brought to you by our other sponsor, Catalyst.
Good thought. So do we still want to go through and look at this data, or
I think it's interesting. What I like about it is if you scroll up, it looks like, I mean, it sounds like the timing on this was pretty close. When was this article published?
It was just released, apparently.
Yeah, look at that.
November 10th.
So, I mean, this is timely. Inside the note, it did say December 2nd. In the other view that you were talking about. So it shows, so again, you do your homework, do your research, go a little bit deeper, see how far back this is. Is this something from 2010 with a 2025 industry report, I imagine.
So yeah, so on the that was a different one.
Oh, that was a different one. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so the one reference is Training Magazine for December 2nd, 2025, just above it. The one that actually has the 2025 training industry report that I clicked
Yeah.
on, it doesn't have enough space to even show a
Mm,
date.
okay.
So, yeah, I think you kind of blurred the two together
Gotcha.
as I was scrolling by or something.
Cool.
But,
That's the
um,
advantage of having two of us on here. We can keep each other honest.
well, sometimes stuff just flies by and it
It
happens.
does.
So, um,
There's
yeah.
another.
Okay. So
I
I
think
mean
we're up to
everybody
seven
can go
now.
everybody can go look at this data. So I'm gonna
Yep.
close this down. I'm gonna go back to the Gemini thing. Because
I
we
think
don't need
I
to be
think it's
digging
cool
into
that
the weeds on that.
investment is increasing. Investment is increasing. The question I would ask is, how did investment increase relative to um, number of new people in the job market? So job market growth relative to investment is investment on
Yeah.
in funding on that side keeping pace with growth in another aspect of the market, or is it lagging behind? Like those are some of the things, some of the details that people forget to get into when they
Yeah.
cherry pick the number. Because I could cherry pick that number and be like, the industry has increased investment in learning and development or training initiatives. How much have you increased your investment this year? What makes you different? Like all of that kind of stuff. And it's just because I cherry picked the whatever percent number it was. So trust but verify.
Yeah.
Trust but verify.
Yeah. Well, while payroll for training staff rose by nearly 7%, spending on outside products and services saw a significant spike of 29%, indicating a massive shift towards buying specialized external solutions like AI and tech tools rather than building everything in house. And I just, when it's small numbers like that, I kind of brush it off. I wait to see either negative numbers or super high numbers because there's so many different factors involved, I think. I mean, it's a good data point and it's good to put it in there, but yeah, I mean, the reality and what everybody's feeling right now is that nobody's spending any money. Everyone's just kind of keeping investments, close to the chest and not opening up the purse strings at all for anybody. And everybody that I've talked to over the last few months has been feeling that pinch, from
Yeah.
consultants to, small businesses, to large consultancies. Just everybody's feeling the pinch, and reports like this don't reflect the feeling of a
Yeah.
pinch.
Well, reports don't include the nuance around things like specific markets.
Yeah,
Um,
which is why it's just important to, and they try. I mean, you can only get so much and you can only do so much. And but it's like these reports that the industry puts out, they're good. They're a great sort of here's my thumb and I'm gonna be like, it's a good sort of eyeball, looks about right, sort of thing. But sometimes you have to just weigh it against the reality um that people are feeling. So
On the
anyways,
on the spending side, here are a couple of questions I like to ask. And you guys are going to know, everybody's going to notice a theme. I will typically throw out a couple of questions that you can ask as you're kind of thinking through it, if in just in case you're struggling with the question. So one question might be, am I spending more money? Yes or no? What's my
mm,
comfort level in spending money right now? Um, if I am spending money on certain things, what are those things I'm spending money on? So again, it's very personal. Like your data, your information, what's happening inside your family. Then in your network, what are they spending money on? What are they investing? Across your customer base, what are they spending money on? Where are they investing? Money flows in and out of organizations all the time. It's called currency for a reason, right? So there's a
yeah.
there's a And shout out to Will Shaw, who said that to me once on the golf course way back, and it just has stuck with me. It's called currency for a reason. And there's this flow.
I love
It's
that.
awesome, and it makes you helps you get an appreciation for the importance of that flow. And
Yeah.
are we creating dams to stop the flow, or are we creating space to open up the flow, or are we creating new tributaries to help divert the flow? So ask yourself a couple of those questions, and these are not philosophical questions. Like, these are real questions. It's like, hey, am I spending
That's
money?
legit.
Yes or no? Do the other people around me spending money? Yes or no? If they are spending more money on things this year than last year, what are they spending more money on this year and last year? What's happening inside the market relative to my customers? Where are people flowing? Like, where are the people? So in addition to the resource flow,
Yeah.
right? So where's time, energy, people, money? Where is that flowing? And then start to say, hey, is there an opportunity for me to start to flow in that direction and ride some of that wave? Or do I want to put my stake in the ground and say, damn it, I am not going to take it anymore. We are not going to do anything different. And we are just going to stick with this. And then you find yourself, what do people do when they do that? Shout at clouds.
Old people shouting at clouds. Yes. That's us, dang it. No, it totally isn't. All right. Excellent points. Excellent rants. Technology focus, the rise of agentic AI. Have we talked about this before? The buzzword for late 2025 is agentic AI. AI systems that can take autonomous action rather than just generating content. Thoughts?
There was a post on Twitter last night. I don't think you call it Twitter anymore. It's X. I still haven't made that shift. But
None
it
of us
was
have.
off of an interview that one of the revenue leaders at Vercel had on shared during a podcast, and she referenced or referred to taking a team of 10 and reducing it down to one agent. And the engineer who
Yeah.
built that agent commented on the post in on Twitter or on X and said, I was the engineer who did this. Ask me anything. And I will send you a link to the thread, Brent, so you
Oh,
can
that'd
take a
be
look at
awesome.
it. It is super, super cool. And if anybody who's listening wants a link, just hit us up in the comments or send a note to Brent and I, and we'll make sure you get a copy of it. But so this engineer jumped in and said, hey, you know what, hit me up, ask me anything, I'll share with you how we did it. And then he included links to um, uh, posts that they've made sharing some of the thinking and the information that they're doing and how they built it. So I this is an example where people are using agents to do good things inside their business. The question that came up that I thought was really cool was they asked if um what tool they use to build it.
Always about
It's
the
always
tool.
about the tool,
Always.
right? So and he shares how they built it and how they used internal data sources to build it. They built inside their organization rather than outsourcing. And I think that's the key piece. Like, in order to be able to build inside your organization, you have to have a level of capability. You have to have knowledge and skill
Yeah.
to be able to do it. And then you also have to have your data in a position where you know where it is and you know where you're pointing to. So we're getting back to basic fundamentals.
And you have to clean up your data. I've talked about this with so many different AI experts and AI readiness teams and AI engineers that are doing this for a living. And a lot of them, the majority of their work is rescuing AI implementations that have gone bad, and because they didn't stop to clean up their data. If you don't start with cleaning up your data first, you will not be successful at implementing AI. Period. Dramatic pause. I don't know if we need to get into that just now, but one of the things that I'm reading here in this agentic AI. This kind of matches the story you're telling, and it's interesting to me as well because of all the people that say, well, all of the layoffs that have occurred in L&D lately are all because of AI, and I look at it with a bit of a side eye, not 100% sure that that's true, but I'll get back to that. What it says in Gemini's bullet points, strategic shift, it says Gartner and other analysts are projecting that by the end of this year, agentic AI will handle significantly more autonomous decision making in L&D administration. And I like to try to look at this stuff as not good or bad. It just is. And then what are the things that we in the industry have control over, that we, in order to react to it and deal with it. I'm in the process of writing a whole bunch of stuff about this, and I'm taking kind of a historic perspective, and everybody will just kind of have to hold off on that. I'm waiting to put it out there until I get it more clearly defined, but it's starting to come together in that we have gone through this before, and it did change things up, and jobs did get lost and jobs did go away, but we survived it, and people reskilled and people learned new parts of it, and for the most part people were happy that they didn't have to do the mundane work anymore. How many people do you know that love doing L&D administration? Not many, but yeah, there are a lot of people whose sole purpose in an organization is to do the administrative, what we call administrivia, the detail work of scheduling rooms for live training sessions, scheduling trainers, working with the vendors, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But agentic AI is going to start picking away at that. So anyways, it's my high horse. Practical application. The trend is moving away from simple content generation, which dominated 2023 to 2024, toward AI agents that can manage scheduling, personalized coaching feedback, and career pathing without human intervention. Yes, maybe 25 asterisks after that, and we can talk about it another day.
Yeah,
because we're probably getting to the end of our time.
I think we're getting to the end of our time. I think we should let's put it out there. See who comments on this. We're gonna go down to road A or road B. Road A, we go a little bit deeper into the risks of or the challenges of using agents to do some of the things that Brent just described. That's road A. Road B, we follow the Oracle of Gemini and the news tomorrow and see something in there. And let's go road C, which is what are a couple of examples of something today that we're seeing today that everybody is saying is new, but the reality is here's this really clear example of something that was old. And I know we've talked about that kind of stuff a little bit before, but A, B, or C, and then dealer's choice on D, if you've got another topic that you'd like to see us get into. Brent, I appreciate the opening this thing up to a little bit more than 30 minutes. It gives us time to get kind of warmed up and get the conversation going and have things kind of move along organically. I think we could yeah, there we go, and now we get to 8. So I think 7 or 8. If we're keeping track at home.
If you're following the comments, are we counting the comments, or is it just us saying the movie quotes?
I'm going to include the comments because this is a community thing that we're building together. So if anybody wants to go through and add in comments, like our favorite fan here, Craig, it is I'm happy to see them as they go in. And the cool thing about movies, and this is why I do the Merry and Bright thing the way they do it each year, is there are movies we relate to a portion of just about any movie that we see, or every movie that we see, any good movie that we see, any movie that's memorable. And Brent or Craig went Back to the Future, and um,
You named the
I
movie.
did.
Dang
I
it.
know. I broke, and we're breaking the fourth wall as we kind of
That's okay. That's
as we
okay.
go through this. And one of my favorite movies that's out now that breaks the fourth wall is Deadpool. Like I think when we get
Oh
to
yeah.
the comic stuff, Ryan Reynolds has absolutely nailed all three of those movies. Like it's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
um there's something that we can relate to, and we either remember what happened in the movie through the eyes of our kids and how they respond to certain things, or we let those movies take us back in time and remember what it was like when we were there around that kind of experience, or we think about some of the adversity that we worked to overcome, and how the hero in that journey went through and overcame it. So maybe story is one of those things we jump into. Yeah, but of A and B, so Craig has voted A, even though he has fully embraced AI. I would like to understand what fully embraced AI is. Like, if you just plugged yourself into are you we are the Borg? Or or like that's, so
Craig is our first
there
cyborg
we go.
guest.
Um, Cybert the Cyborg.
Ooh, here we go.
There we go.
Somebody quick get into Nano Banana. Yay, I got to say it today. and make a cyborg, Craig's cyborg image. That's awesome.
Holding a guitar and a paintbrush.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
how about this? Playing a guitar with a paintbrush. Dude, we could put so
Ooh.
many different layers to all of this. Layers
I
of
just found a paintbrush in my garage when we were cleaning it out over the weekend. I should try that.
So, Brent, see you tomorrow. We'll do this same bat time, same bat
Indeed.
channel.
Same bad time, same bad channel. And those of you that are out there watching the recordings and whatnot, because you can't catch us this early or whatever, doesn't mean you can't comment. Please, comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about, what direction you'd like us to go in and have these conversations, and we'll see what we can do.
We'll see what we can do. Brent, where can people
Find
find
us
you?
on LinkedIn as always.
Go find us on LinkedIn. Brent, we'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Take care, my friend.